Welcome back to DAGryffyn Hobby. My name's Dave. In this video, I'm going to see if I can get this Seaboard engine working again. I've got the Seaboard 8063 from the MPC era. It doesn't work. The E-unit is functioning, but the engine is not going. It seems to me that the motor doesn't turn, most likely because at first glance, I don't think it's wired properly. It's already got some LEDs in it. I'm gonna leave them in there. I think I'm just gonna cut all the wires and start over. I'm never very good at figuring out what somebody else has done. Might as well just get in here and do my thing. I disconnected all the wires from the motor, and then I did what I thought was the way it should go and put the green wire here, yellow to one side, blue to the other. And now it runs. So whatever the orientation was before, it wasn't correct. So now that we have the yellow, green, and blue connected, it works. So before I go and wire the lights to be directional, I'm gonna check out the motor and see if it's clean. It looks like it has brand new brushes in there. These plastic brush plates make me a little nervous from this era. I don't want to break one, but still I'd rather get it off. So I'm going to work it a little bit side by side, wiggle, and see what happens. If you have one like this and it's stuck, just be patient. Move it a little bit at a time. A little rocking motion back and forth. Brushes are a little dirty, a little oily. Down to my last Q-tip. Armature pulls right out. Doesn't look like there's much in the way of grease down there. Oh, the gears feel a little dirty. Maybe I should take a look at those. The gears look pretty clean. Seems to bind right there. Kind of looks like this tooth is damaged. All right, I did a little bit of work. Let's see, what did I do? Pulled the armature out. I cleaned up the gear here. It was a little sticky. I cleaned off the face, cleaned out the grooves, cleaned up the brushes, cleaned inside the brush holder. I tried to clean the gears a little bit. There wasn't a lot down there, but there was some, carpet fuzz and dirt. What I did see was one of these plastic gear teeth was a little out of shape, almost like it got wedged and bent a little bit. So all I did was take my pocket screwdriver, put it in between the teeth, and I just applied a little pressure, straightened it out a little bit, and it seems much better. I also sprayed the rollers down with the contact cleaner. I like to get those as clean as possible. I put some Labelle 106 down on the gear. The brushes are all cleaned up. The engine up. Try to get it together without dropping the brushes. Not so good. Didn't work. Sometimes it works great, sometimes it doesn't. It's moving nice and smooth, so that means the armature isn't moving up and down too much. Might as well get the screws back in. Of course, don't forget the ground here off the coil. Snug them down, but not over tighten them. And make sure that the ground isn't touching one of the brush holders. I don't like this method of picking the spring up. I feel like you're kind of hyperextending it, but sometimes it's just the easiest thing to do. There we go. Brushes are in place, spinning nicely. Some 102 there at the top. since it's all back together, I'm going to put it up on the layout and see how it moves. Need a new clip there, that one's broken. All right, so it runs a lot better. I mean, especially since it didn't run at all at first. So it's running well. That's great. Now, we need the lights to work. And of course, I cut all those wires. Now, we might as well do directional, so I don't need the front and the rear connected anyway. And then, let's see, how do I want to do this? Do I want the cab light to be on all the time? That might be nice. I got this back together with just a few minor modifications. There was already an additional ground to the unit from the back truck, and I added one for the front truck just because you can never have too much grounding. It's not a bad thing. I added these wires, 3 wires, to connect to the LEDs on the shell. The yellow is attached to the yellow and should power the LED at the back of the engine when it's going backwards. The red is red, and that goes to the front LED to power the front when it's going forward. The green is what grounds the LED, and it goes right to the center point on the brush plate. On the shell, again, the red goes to the front, yellow goes to the rear, and green is the ground for the LEDs. Now additionally, there's a cab light, so the way to make that work so that it works both forward and reverse is one pole is connected to the red and the other is connected to the yellow. So that really should all work. I used a Molex connector because I just happen to have a few. That, and it was 3 wires, and that's what I needed. Everything's cleaned up. I've got my little wiring done. It should be good. So I say let's just put it back together and see what happens. Now, I don't know that the cab light LED is even remotely bright enough. I'm more concerned about the headlights. So let's check it out on the layout. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for watching. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time on DAGryffyn Hobby.